Hello students, today we are going to start the second unit and the second unit is relational data model. So let's see the point fundamentals of RDBMS means relational database system. This is outline of today's lecture fundamentals of RDBMS and EAP-CORD's rule for RDBMS. So let us first see fundamentals of RDBMS. RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System. There are different data models and one of the data models is relational data model. So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. It is a database system based on relational model introduced by the scientist Epcod. Relational model can be represented as a table. Tables are used for storing information in this relational model. Here table or relation is a collection of data represented in rows and columns. This is example of one table or relation. This is a students table. Students, this is a name of the table. And there are three columns in this table. Roll number, name and phone. These columns are also called as attributes or they are also called as fields of the table. You can see that there are total 4 rows in this table. These rows are also called as records. There are 4 records in this table or these rows are also called as tuples. There are 4 tuples in this table. So in this way in RDBMS information is stored in tabular format in terms of rows and columns. Then there is one more term related to RDBMS and that is a domain. So what is domain? It is a set of permitted values for an attribute in a table. Means which values can be taken by that attribute. For example, the attribute is roll number. So which values can be taken by that attribute roll number? So we know that roll number should be numeric. So integer, this is a domain of this column roll number. Means this column should take only numeric integer values. If we enter A as a roll number or if we enter A1 as a roll number, it will not be accepted because domain of this column is integer. Here second column is name. So which values will be accepted by this second column name? So here you can see that these are non-numeric values, string values. So this column will accept only string values. So this is called as a domain, set of permitted values for an attribute in a table. An attribute cannot accept values that are outside their domains. So in roll number, if we enter A9, then it will not be accepted because it is not integer. Domain of that roll number column is integer. So it will accept only integer values. It cannot accept values outside their domain. Now the scientist Epcod has proposed this relational model and based on that relational model, relational database management system is designed. So there are total 12 rules of Epcod. Rule 0 is a foundation rule and all the 12 rules are based on this foundation rule. The rule 0 foundation rule states that the system must be capable to manage their database systems through their relational capabilities. So the database system should be able to manage their database through the relational capabilities. All the rules are based on this foundation rule. Now, rule 1. Rule 1 is information rule. Here, EAP states that every relational database management system should follow all these 12 rules. So, rule 1 is information rule. So, what this rule states? This information rule states that everything in database must be stored in table format. Means suppose you want to store information of students. So all the information of students should be stored in tabular format. Then we know that in database metadata is also stored. Metadata means data about data. How many columns are there, how many rows are there, this information, what is name of table, what attributes are present, what is name of attribute, this is called as a metadata. So either data or metadata, everything should be stored in tabular format. Here we can see that this data, this is a data, this is stored in tabular format, as well as metadata means total number of rows in students table are 4. There are 3 columns. Name of each column is roll number, name, phone. So this metadata, information about data, data about data, this metadata as well as data, everything should be stored in tabular format. This is the information rule. Second rule is guaranteed access rule. So this rule states that every single data element is guaranteed to be accessible logically with combination of table name, primary key and attribute name. So everything in database, every single element from the database is guaranteed to be accessible by using table name, its column name or primary key value. For example, you want to retrieve information of student whose roll number is 50. Then if value of roll number is given and name of table is given, then you should be able to access that information. So every single data from the database is guaranteed to be accessible logically with combination of this table name and primary key, attribute name, etc. Then rule 3 is systematic treatment of null values. So what is mean by null values? So null values means the data, it indicates that data is missing or the data is unknown. Suppose mobile number of student is not known, then in that place null value is written. Suppose there are total 10 students and out of 10 students two students mobile number is not known, then in place of that mobile number null is written. So null means information is missing or information is not known. Information missing means suppose some student is not having mobile, so his mobile number is considered as a null. So null values represents that data is unknown or data is missing. So systematic treatment of null values. So here the null values in database must be given a systematic and uniform treatment. Then rule 4 is active online catalog. So online catalog means data dictionary where information metadata, data about data is stored. The structured description of entire database, it is stored in online catalog. Means how is the structure of database, that is stored in online catalog, and that online catalog is known as data dictionary. It can be accessed by authorized users only. That online catalog can be accessed by only authorized users. Users can use the same query language to access that catalog information which they use to access the database data. Means suppose users of database use structured query language for accessing their data. for example student data. So same language should be used for accessing that online catalog information. This is an active online catalog rule. Then rule 5 is comprehensive data sublanguage rule. Means a database can only be accessed using a language, some language, for example structured query language, and that language should be having linear syntax, and it should support data definition, data manipulation, and transaction management operations. So every relational database management system should support such type of language, and the database can only be accessed using such type of language. That language should be having capabilities of uh, linear syntax. It should support data definition, data manipulation, transaction management, etc. So here relational database management system supports structured query language. So comprehensive data sublanguage rule states that every RDBMS should support such type of language, and the data should be accessible using that language only. Then rule 6 is view updating rule. So view means these are virtual tables. Suppose the original table contains 20 columns. For example, there is a table and there are columns like mm, faculty ID, faculty name, then there are columns related to faculty account information, faculty qualification, then there are columns related to faculty salary. So such type of 20 columns are there. But if student want to view information of that faculty, he should be able to see only faculty name, his and his qualification information. So for uh, such type of student user, one virtual table is created, and that table shows only faculty name and qualification information of that faculty. That is called as a view. So rule 6 is a view updating rule. So all the views of database must be updatable by the system. Means user should be able to update such type of views of the system. User should be able to make changes in such views. Then rule 7, it is a high level insert update delete rule. So database must support high level insertion, updation and deletion operations. So what is meant by high level insertion, updation and deletion? So the operation must not be limited to single row. Means user should be able to insert multiple rows at a time. For example, you want to insert 10 rows at a time. He should be able to do that. Or suppose user want to update 10 rows at a time, or user want to delete 4 rows at a time. So he should be able to do such type of operations. Database must support high level insertion, updation and deletion operation. This must not be limited for single row. Then rule 8 is physical data independence. The data stored in database must be independent of the applications that access that database. Any changes in the physical structure of database must not be affected by that application. Means if physical structure of database is changed, there should be no need to change the application which is using that database. This is a physical data independence rule. Similarly, rule 9 is logical data independence rule. So logical data in database must be independent of its application. So if any changes are done to the logical data, then it must not affect the application using it. For example, if two tables are merged in a database, there are two tables T1 and T2, but database designer merges these two tables. Or suppose one table is split into two different tables. Table TT1 is split into TT1 and TT2. Then, if such type of logical data is changed by the database designer, then there should be no impact on the application. There should not be any change should not be required in that application. This is called as a logical data independence. Then rule 10. The rule 10 is integrity independence. So one should be able to modify integrity constraints without the need of any change in the application. So integrity constraints means some rules which should be followed by the database. For example, there is a column roll number. So roll number should be in the range 1 to 60. This is a rule which is called as a integrity constraint. Or suppose there is a mobile number column. So mobile number should take only numeric data, as well as it should be 10 digit number only. So this is called as a integrity constraint. Or if there is a column percentage marks, so that column should take values which is less than or equal to 100%. It should not take values which are greater than 100%. So these rules are called as integrity constraint. And here one should be able to modify these rules, means integrity constraints, without modifying the application. This is the integrity independence rule. Rule 11 is distribution independence. Means the end user must not be able to see that the data is distributed over various locations. So the database data may be stored on different machines also. Actual data, large data may be stored on multiple machines, but end user of the database must not be aware of this distribution. He should always get the impression that data is located at one site only. This is called as a distribution independence. When you view your result using some online website, so at that time result information of all students may not be stored on single server. It may be stored on multiple servers. It may be distributed on multiple servers. But when you see your result, you are unaware about this distribution. You think that data is stored at one location only. So this is a distribution independence. And last rule, rule 12, is non-subversion rule. If a system has an interface that provides access to low level records, then the interface must not be able to subvert the system and bypass security and integrity constraints. So sometimes some graphical user interface is provided by the database systems to access the database. So we know that database system can be accessed using some language like structured query language. But sometimes RDBMS also provides some graphical user interface so that user can interact with that database easily. The database becomes user friendly. So the non-subversion rule states that even though the database system provides graphical user interface, it should not be able to bypass the security and integrity constraints of the database. Even though GUI is provided, it should support that security and integrity constraint. It should not be able to subvert and bypass these security and integrity constraints. This is non-subversion rule. So the EF code has specified these 12 different rules, and every relational database management system should follow all these 12 rules. So this brings us to the end of today's lecture. Thank you.